Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot, or welcome to Lone Pine Tarot for the very first time if you're brand new here. Thank you so much for joining me today for our pick a card reading that is a good old-fashioned message from the universe, aka what the universe wants you to know. Pretty straightforward, doesn't need much explanation. So without further ado, let us pick our pile leaders to choose our piles with today using the Lantern Oracle, calling on Spirit. Please guide us to the right cards to have us be drawn to the right messages. Thank you. Okay, there's pile 1. We'll unveil them in just a moment. Pile 2. And pile 3. Now, in a little bit of a twist from my usual method, I'm actually going to take the card off screen and I'm going to cover the text with a post-it note before I unveil each one. So just to let you be able to choose with a little bit more of intuition and just looking at the picture itself. So for pile number 1, this is your pile leader. We have the older woman meditating with the cosmos behind her. Okay, so that is for pile 1. For pile 2, let's cover the text. This is your pile leader. We have the gathering of different women around a basket of bounty. Okay. And last but not least, for pile number 3, let me cover your text here. Very beautiful card. We have an almost kind of starseed looking being with a harp. Okay, so just to reiterate, pile 1 over here, the meditating elderly woman with the cosmos behind her. Pile 2, the gathering of different women around a basket of bounty. And pile number 3, you have a more starseed looking being playing a harp. But of course, if you need more time to decide what pile you are drawn to most, you can pause right now on the video. If you're new to pick a card readings and you're like, well, what method do I use? How do I pick one? I like to guide us through what I call a meditative moment. So close your eyes, taking a deep cleansing breath, and as you do, imagine light filling your lungs as if drawn from the air, and hold it. And then when you breathe back out again, imagine breathing negativity, darkness, shadows out. Then open your eyes and think about, where is my gaze drawn most first? What feels right in my gut? And that is the pile I recommend you go with. So just a reminder, 1, 2, and 3. But whatever your method, whenever you have finished choosing, you can drop down to the description box below or the top pinned comment beneath the video. Find the timestamp for your pile, and I'll see you in our little chat about what the universe wants you to know. Okay? See you there. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 1. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about what the universe wants you to know. And of course, as you can recall, you were drawn to the very beautiful depiction of the older woman meditating before the cosmos. And drumroll, please, let's reveal the text that was on your card. We had number 43, inner life. Your inner life is a garden to be cultivated. Okay. So we'll set this very gorgeous card to the left here to begin, and I actually want to start today with both your tarot spread, or at least the main tarot spread, and one of the oracle cards. So let us draw those cards right now, pile 1, and see what the universe wants to say to you. What does it need you to know? Okay, there's the oracle card. And let's draw the tarot. Okay, for sure that one. Okay, now all your first cards are drawn. Let's unveil what cards the universe wanted to share with you. So from the first one, the Dream Ritual Oracle, we have the card of Ego. Okay. The card of Ego. And then let's unveil your tarot cards. The very first one today is the Nine of Pentacles reversed with some beautiful, I believe those are chanterelle mushrooms. Okay, Nine of Pentacles reversed. Then we have the Lovers with Niagara Falls, very beautiful card. In the middle, the heart of the matter, we have the Queen of Cups reversed. Okay, well, I can already tell you this, pile one. What the universe wants to talk to you about today is something that I feel like you're really heavily dissatisfied with. There's something you're, I don't want to say necessarily upset about, but it's a dissatisfaction of some sort. Then we have, yes, the Magician. Okay, that's also kind of showing me a little bit more about the story of what's going on. And then last but not least, we have the Hanged Man with Cuyahoga Valley. And then the Magician was Waimea. Okay, so pile one, what's going on with what the universe wants to talk to you about today? Yes, as I already said, I won't repeat it too much. There's something that you really seem heavily dissatisfied with. I think it's either something that you have been doing externally or like an action you've been taking that hasn't been deriving a lot of internal satisfaction, like let's say a really unfulfilling job that just, yeah, it gets the bills paid, but it just doesn't make you very happy inside, or it's like something that you had hopes for, but it's not working out the way that you intended, or it's like, you might not even really know what the reason is, pile one. You might just feel this dissatisfaction and you just don't know why. Okay, because the very beginning card, the reason I say that is because the first card is the Nine of Pentacles reverse, which means I like to call the Nine of Pentacles the card of the gumball machine. Okay, those of you familiar with my channel kind of laugh, you know where I'm going, but for those of you that don't understand the metaphor because you haven't seen my videos yet, the Nine of Pentacles is all about getting out what we put into things. So a Nine of Pentacles upright would be you put a quarter in the slot, you get a gumball out. Nine of Pentacles reverse, though, how like what you got is more about I put a quarter in the gumball machine, I didn't get my gumball. You're putting in labor and effort and sweat equity into something and you're not getting out of it what you want. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're not getting at least some sort of external satisfaction. Like I said, it could be money, it could be respect of some sort, but it's like deep inside there's an emptiness. There's a feeling of, I want more. Okay, it almost kind of makes me, reminds me of, oh, what's that song? I think it's in the beginning of Beauty and the Beast when Belle says, there must be more than this provincial life. Like, that's kind of what it reminds me of. You're kind of like Belle right now. There has to be more outside of this. You want more. Okay. And specifically, it's interesting because the next card that came up was the Lovers. Now, traditionally, Lovers can be interpreted, and very often is, to be a card about literally a romantic relationship. However, I sometimes see Lovers as the more traditional way of a choice. Okay. And especially with what's going on here, I think that's more of the interpretation I'm leaning towards intuitively, pile one. Okay. So we're dissatisfied. We're kind of thinking of making a choice of some sort, you know, and same thing too with the Lovers. That can speak of the way that we romanticize life, the way that we romanticize things, and then we get to reality. And sometimes reality doesn't meet the rose-tinted goggles of romanticization. Okay. Having trouble pronouncing that word. Romanticization. There you go. And especially because your heart of the matter is the Queen of Cups reversed. A Queen of Cups reversed is someone who is not following their heart. So you know what this really is, pile one, is the universe is saying or asking you, why are you not following your heart? Because you know, based on this dissatisfaction, you're not following your true north. You're not following your heart. Why aren't you following the energy more of the Queen of Cups upright? Because the Queen of Cups upright, pile one, is someone who knows their emotions really well deep down and follows them like the waypoints of a compass, okay? A Queen of Cups reversed, however, being the heart of the matter, is someone who is getting the compass pointing a certain direction, aka their heart, but is going the other way, okay? However, I will tell you, there is a silver lining, pile one, because I don't mean this whole reading, and the universe doesn't mean this whole reading as a, you know, well, shame on you for being dissatisfied, and why aren't you following your heart? Because there is good tidings coming. You have the Magician in the near future, okay? And what that means, pile one, is You're going to manifest the thing that you're looking for that will solve this dissatisfaction, that will fix the inability or maybe, the unwillingness to follow your heart, okay? A magician is a manifester. As above, so below. They think it, they create it, okay? You're on your way to manifestation energy, right? And at the very end, you have as the outcome the Hanged Man. Okay, the Hanged Man sometimes can mean a sacrifice, but I like to interpret it most of the time more as the card of gaining a different perspective. So what I'm going to tell you, Pile 1, is the universe is saying everything that you're looking for, everything that you're wanting out of this, that you're dissatisfied with, it's going to manifest. But it's going to manifest in the way when you change your perspective. And I think it's very interesting that we have the Inner Life card, though you didn't know the text at the time because I covered it right. But let's reread it. It says, your inner self is a garden to be cultivated. There's something about the situation you're in that you could change to follow the compass of your heart, to manifest what you want, if you cultivate something inside more. Okay? And that is a perspective change with the Hanged Man. There's something you're not seeing clearly about the situation that will completely change it and overhaul it to where you are satisfied, Pile 1. And that's what we're going to try to find out. That's the mystery of your reading today is, well, universe, you're saying I need to change my perspective. You're saying I will manifest what I want when I shift the way I see this, but how? Okay. Now, there is a little bit of a hint. We do have ego here. That was the card from the Dream Ritual Oracle. Now, we will, of course, draw more cards, but we have ego. And, of course, we know ego as in the preservation of self. We know ego as in, sometimes it has a negative connotation because we think, oh, well, ego is self-importance. But ego, actually, it's healthy to have enough of one, right? Pile 1, you don't want two loaves of ego, which, because that leads to issues with self-esteem. So really, when ego comes out as a card, I see it as a card of balance. A card of balance between too low self-esteem and too high self-esteem, okay? You want to get to that equilibrium. That's what this card means, okay? So I think for some of you, this might mean that the situation that you're in is you're not seeing the path towards manifestation of what you want because of too low self-esteem. And for some of you, it's you're not seeing the path to manifestation or satisfaction that you want because you might even think it's a little bit beneath you. So some of you, it might be a little bit like too high of ego. Some of you, it might be too low of ego, of course. Let's find some other cards to explain more on that. And I don't say that, and the universe doesn't say that, Pile 1, as a, well, how dare you think this is beneath you, or how, they're not saying you're egotistical for those of you where you fall more into that camp, but it's still saying to you there's something you're missing in this because you're deeming what this is as beneath you, okay? And we all do it, Pile 1, so I've done it before. Everyone else, if they were to chime down in the comments down below, would say they've done it before too. We've all overlooked things. We've all seen things as less than what they are, okay? We just need to give the universe a chance to show us how great something can be. Sometimes it just takes time to manifest, okay? Same thing too, if it's like too low self-esteem, right? Maybe you're not reaching for enough because you don't think that you're good enough for it. Okay, so it could be an issue on either side, Pile 1. You know your situation a little bit better than I do, right? But let's grab the other cards. We do have your Botanical Inspirations. And then I might also draw some more tarot cards, Pile 1. We'll see what answers come out. Any other advice you have, universe, for Pile 1 on fixing this perspective change? What's going on? We have the Bellflower, Gratitude. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. And that quote is by Melody Beattie. Gratitude. Okay, so a little bit more of another tough love message, Pile 1. Part of what would change your perspective and help you manifest the satisfaction you're looking for is to be more grateful, okay, for what silver linings there are in the situation, okay? And I know that's a really hard message to hear. I hope not all of you just click off at the moment I say that, but you know what that means, Pile 1, is that the fact that the universe is giving you this message now is that they know that you are ready and willing to hear it, okay? And once again, we've all done that before. We have all overlooked things. We've all, not really thought about how grateful we are for certain things, okay? Let's then also grab your Nature's Whispers. Actually, I'm going to set this one up here. I'll set it next to Ego, okay? Any other advice from Nature's Whispers? Okay, so think about the things that you are grateful for in this situation, pile 1. What are you grateful for in where you're at right now? What benefits does it bring you? Okay, and then we have make a decision, which reminds me just of the Lovers, which means choice, okay? And it's interesting because this woman is between two different worlds. She is between what almost looks like ancient Egypt. She has the pyramids of Giza down here in a more desert biome. There's even hieroglyphics here on her wing. Lots of gold, okay? Of course, makes us think of Egypt. And then on the right, she has a more jungle-like vibe, okay? More like Amazonian, I would say, South American. It's like she's kind of caught between two worlds. It's weird because it's almost like maybe part of the perspective change is some days it really feels like this one world, the situation that you're in, and then the next day it seems like it shifts to another world, okay? There's an indecisiveness, though, that's also fueling the issue. It's like the universe is asking, before we can manifest or help you manifest the thing that you're looking for, you need to decide how you're going to see it, okay? You're going to need to decide what kind of world this is, okay? I'm trying to figure out, let me grab some more tarot cards on that. Like, what's causing the indecision, or like, what's the decision? I know I said it's kind of like being stuck between two worlds, but universe, more about the decision, thank you. Especially because they brought it up twice. They're the Lovers, which means choices at times. Okay, we have the Ace of Wands reversed. Lack of enthusiasm. Okay, it's like you're not seeing it for what it is. And then we've got the Five of Swords, which can be conflict, right? Also, this particular depiction is they're cleaning up a lot of garbage, unfortunately, that got strewn about the hiking trail. I almost wonder, pile 1, if there's something about it's marring your vision of this place or situation that you're in because someone has strewn garbage. Someone has strewn garbage around, and they're affecting your enthusiasm. That's what the Ace of Wands reversed means, pile 1. It's all about lacking a spark, lacking motivation, lacking enthusiasm or passion for things, okay? It's almost like you run out of steam because it's the way... Well, and 2, pile 1, the Five of Swords can mean actual verbal conflict. It can mean maybe there's a lot of people involved that have been arguing with you a lot. Maybe they've been fighting a lot, and that really doesn't help either, okay? So I'm not saying, and the universe is not saying this either, pile 1, that it's all on your shoulders as to why you might not be viewing this the right way, okay? Because it seems like there's almost like too many other cooks in the kitchen that are trying to influence your opinion of the situation. I'm not exactly seeing why. I mean, it could be that maybe they're just bitter. Like say it's a particular job that you just started, and say that there's people there that are bitter because they've been there like kind of a long time, they haven't had the best experience, and so they're trying to kind of like portray that experience to you, and it's tainting your view of this particular opportunity, even though just because something bad happened to them here doesn't mean necessarily that it'll be a bad place for you. Maybe it's just a mismatch between them and that particular work environment, but that doesn't necessarily mean that work environment is bad, okay? So far what I'm hearing is the perspective shift that needs to occur for you to manifest the satisfaction that you're looking for, okay, is really, number 1, weigh how ego is playing a role in this. Either too much self-esteem in terms of, oh, this is beneath me. Like you're just discounting it as, oh, this is beneath me. Or not enough ego and saying, like, you're not reaching for the things that you want more because you have, like, too low of self-esteem in the situation, or you're not even giving yourself the benefit of the doubt of waiting to see what your own opinion on the situation is because you think, oh, well, these people know better than me, I'll just let them decide for me how I'm going to feel about this situation. Okay, things like that. So look at ego and self-esteem. Number 2, as we said before, look at gratitude. What are you grateful for in this situation? What's the silver lining? There has to be at least, probably one, I'm hearing, at least from the universe here, hence why gratitude came out. And even if it turns out, pile 1, that you realize, I really can't be in this situation anymore, and that's very plausible, that's very, very possible, pile 1, of course, you know your situation better than I do. So even if you leave it behind, even think about, well, what did it teach me? What has this taught me about life, about manifesting the things I want? What has it taught me about following my heart? Things like that. Speaking of, also follow your heart. What is your heart telling you deep down, pile 1, about this situation? What is it saying to you? If you were to imagine your own heart as a compass, what direction would it be pointing in? Okay. Also, don't let the opinions of others taint your opinion of the situation too much, okay? Especially if, let's say maybe there are really tempestuous people here in this situation. Maybe, say, we'll go with the job example again, though that might not apply to all of you, of course, I know. But say, you have a really, a coworker at this new job, in this example, who is really just catty and really just brings your mood down because they're a pessimist. And they complain about everything, and everything sucks, and blah, 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 or they're really mean to you, okay? Take that person out of the equation for a second. How is the workplace if you were just to ignore their existence for a moment? How would you judge this workplace if they weren't there? It would probably be a lot better, right? You might be like, oh, the silver lining, actually, well, the pay is really good, and my manager's kind of nice, and, things like that. I mean, of course, extrapolate that to your situation, pile 1, but things like that. In either case, there just needs to be a perspective shift. Also with inner life, it seems like there's more you need to think about with your intrinsic internal motivations with this than external motivations, okay? Think about it more than just the money it might bring, or think about it more than just the respect it might bring, or external valuable things. Think about more about what this situation brings to you internally that is valuable. What lessons has it taught you, like we said before? What is it teaching you about yourself? How has it made you stronger? Situations and questions like that, okay? And then there was one other thing I was going to say. Also, yes, that's what it was. Is by the inciting incident, I like to call the first card of the spread I like to use, that 9 of Pentacles we talked about before with the gumball metaphor, right? That almost tells me that one of the reasons why you're being encouraged this way by the universe to shift this perspective is because if you don't shift the perspective, you might be losing out on the effort that you put into it, okay? You might give up too soon before things can manifest for you that you're looking for, okay? Hence why 9 of Pentacles reversed, you put the quarter in, you're not getting the gumball out yet. Well, have you waited for the gumball to come out? Are you expecting it too soon? Maybe the gumball is just jammed a little bit, or the machine, I should say, and needs to be fixed, and then you'll get your gumball, okay? Because as we all know, life is not always smooth roads and smooth sailings, okay? Sometimes there's a little bit of bumps, sometimes there's a little bit of taking roundabout ways, but eventually we do get to things that we're searching for, okay, if we just keep searching for them. All right? Because I don't want you to, and the universe does not want you to either, pile 1, to miss out on the gifts and the fruits of your labor just because of all of this other stuff getting in the way, okay? You're owed something from this, for sure. You're owed the sweat equity and the attention and time that you put into this situation. So it would be, I don't want to say, a tragedy necessarily, but a really big loss, I think, is what I'm hearing, if you don't go forward and keep trying to get the fruits out of your labor. And sometimes we find that the fruits of our labor were in our hands all along, we just didn't look down, because we were so focused on other things. So if we look down in our own hands and see, well, this is the fruit I have in my hand. Oh, there it is. I was so focused on these things out here, but I've had this nourishment and this gift in my hand all along. Okay. So that's the perspective shift they're talking about. I also want to grab just 3 final tarot cards of advice for you from the universe, pile 1, and I hope this reading hasn't chased anyone away, but I want to be an honest tarot reader, so, I will read it as it comes out, even if it's not 100%, because, yeah, sometimes with tarot readings, people are reluctant to say more negative things or more constructive things, but as a tarot reader, I feel I want to read honestly, as I always say. So we have the Four of Pentacles reversed. Okay, that means something about giving more, all right, or needing to release things. We've got the King of Pentacles. See, there's a lot of financial benefit to whatever this is, especially with the fruits of the labor, right? A King of Pentacles is someone who manifests things. We have that theme again, especially in terms of finance and career. And then we've got Death reversed, okay? Inability to change or needing to change. Blooming, where we thought, and that's that metaphor again, pile 1. Okay, because Death Valley, very, very, very stark place, very dry place. There's a reason why it's called Death Valley, right? Seems really inhospitable, but every once in a while when the rains come, it blooms, and we realize, oh, this had the capacity for life and fertility and gifts that I just didn't see before because I didn't wait long enough to see the rains come and give it nourishment. It's like the same situation. You're waiting for change. Okay, you want change, and the universe is saying, just wait for it. It'll come. I promise. Okay? Yes, and the other advice is needing to release things or needing to give more. Give more of your all into this, pile 1. Okay? Give more of your all into this. Okay, don't expend yourself too much. Okay, don't sacrifice yourself to this, of course. I mean, you know your energy more than I do, but the universe is saying with the Four of Pentacles reversed, see what happens when you give even more to it, okay? Where you can. Not the sacrifice of self-care, but where you can. And then also the King of Pentacles is a reminder, pile 1, that you do have the skill and the ability to bring what seems like, a place of desolation, to bring life to it, to bring gifts to it, to see the gifts in it and receive the gifts in it, okay? To climb that mountain. Literally, he's mountain climbing, and he's finally seeing the stars, but he wouldn't have seen the stars as clear, those gifts, if he hadn't climbed the mountain to get all that much clearer. It took effort. It was hard. It wasn't easy. Rock climbing isn't fun, using this metaphor, right? Climbing over obstacles is not easy, but sometimes climbing over the obstacles is worth it for the reward in the end. And that's what a King of Pentacles does, pile 1. They climb up those mountains, and they see those stars, and they receive those gifts. Okay? So keep climbing the mountain, as hard as it is, pile 1. The universe is acknowledging this isn't easy. But try to see things in a different way. Look for silver linings, okay? And that will help you manifest what you're looking for. So that was your message from the universe today, pile 1. Thank you so much to those of you who did stick through the reading all the way till the end, even though there was maybe some a little bit tougher messages, like, being more grateful for things, or, you know what I said. Yeah, but I want to be an honest tarot reader, so I see cards as they come out, and I say them as they come out. So thank you so much for those of you who did stick through the reading, okay? I value your attention and your willingness to listen and hear me out, right, in the universe. If the reading helped you and it resonated, please like the video. Please comment down below. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future, as I always say. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 1. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 2. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about what the universe wants you to know most right now. And of course, as you can recall, you were drawn to the very beautiful picture of the woman gathering with the basket of bounty, apples, oranges, other fruits. And drumroll please, let us look at what your text said. Peeling it back, you had number 33, sharing. There is giving in receiving and receiving in giving. Very beautiful card, a very important message for all of us to remember. So let me set this over here to the left, as we always do with our pile leaders, and I'm going to start the reading today with both one oracle card and your tarot spread. So let us ask Spirit, the universe, please guide us to the right cards to explain more about what do you want to talk to pile 2 about today, universe. Thank you. What do you want them to know most? Okay, we've got very interesting. You know why pile 1? Or I'm sorry, pile 2, and I say pile 1 for a reason. Pile 1 also got a card of gratitude, but they got it from a different deck. Interesting. Seems to be kind of a theme in our community. Okay, so gratitude is your oracle card from the Dream Ritual Oracle. And let us draw your tarot cards. Gratitude. Sharing. Okay. There's card number 1. That was quite prominent. It came flying out by itself. Number 2. Okay. And let's unveil the tarot cards, pile 2. Okay, your first one is, we have the King of Swords reversed. We have someone who's trying to ice climb, it looks like. Second card, we have another swords, but this time the Ten of Swords reversed. Okay. Heart of the matter, I like to call the third card, is the Nine of Wands. Someone is planting pine trees. How fitting. I appreciate when we plant pine trees, right? All right, and then number 4, we have the Emperor reversed with Yosemite National Park. Very beautiful. And last but not least, your last card is another swords, pile 2. I don't know if you're an air sign or you have a lot of air sign placements, but you do have a lot of swords cards, which are the air suit in tarot. Knight of Swords at the very end. He looks like he's blasting dynamite or something. If anyone knows what he's doing, let me know. He's kind of in a snowy area blasting a dynamite. Something to do with avalanches, maybe? Not sure. Flares? Something like that. Let's look over your cards here, pile 2. What's going on here? You know, I think what it is, pile 2, is the universe wants to talk to you today about something that you're recovering from. And more specifically, it's something that it started out as you coming from like a really, like a big time of confusion. And I say that because you have the very first inciting incident card as the King of Swords reversed, okay? And a King of Swords reversed, pile 2, represents somebody who is in a position of, well, it could either mean you in a position of being kind of confused, not sure how to think about something, especially because the air suit in tarot is all about, intelligence, communication, logic, ideas, knowledge, those things, okay? So it's like lacking a knowledge of how to do something or not sure why something happened. And specifically, with it being like an ice climber reversed, it's almost like you were left to climb some sort of large mountain alone. I think it was a situation where other people were not being fair to you, pile 2, especially because not only do you have like these cards, but your pile leader that we just revealed the text of sharing, there is giving and receiving and receiving and giving. It's imagery of a group of women sharing things with each other, okay? I think that was declined to you. I think that was something that wasn't given to you when rightfully you should have been shared with. Or something shared with you, or something was supposed to be given to you. There's an inequality here I'm feeling, okay? And it left you confused. It left you not sure what to do, and especially with the Ten of Swords reversed as the recent past card here. A Ten of Swords reversed represents a time of overcoming what we thought was the end, overcoming a defeat of some sort, or feeling like, okay, that's a bloody, harsh end to a really hard chapter of my life, and now I'm picking up and moving on. I'm healing my wounds. I'm trying to move forward, okay? However, pile 2, I think there's something still bothering you about this because your Heart of the Matter card is the Nine of Wands, and that's all about determination, okay? Just like these women are planting the pine trees, takes a lot of effort. One after another, gotta dig, gotta plant, gotta dig, gotta plant, pat it down, water it. Repetitious work, right? It's beneficial. We're encouraging new life when we plant trees, but it is kind of repetitious. It is kind of tedious sometimes. And so it's like right now, I think you picking up the pieces from whatever happened has been tedious, has been maybe frustrating. Maybe you feel very weary. That's another really good keyword to use with the Nine of Wands. I'm weary. I'm tired. I've been fighting a long battle, but the war isn't over yet. I need to keep going, okay? And I think part of that is just the recovery from this and trying to make sense of why this inequality was cast upon you, why things were not fair to you, why people were not putting in the same exact effort that you were, okay? Hence the giving and receiving card that you had as your pile leader, okay? It's possible that maybe like you would put a lot of effort into something, and you had created a lot of fruits of your labor. Other people enjoyed the fruits of your labor and they were not grateful for it, hence the gratitude card, right? Like I talked about, which is a communal theme. Our community is having a lot of gratitude cards today for some reason, which is interesting. You think that'd be more in November when Thanksgiving comes around, but I guess at least the time if you're watching this when it uploads in May, seems to be a community theme now. But yeah, like they were not grateful for the work that you put in. And you might even be still kind of partially in the situation pile too. Maybe you're still stuck in this place of no one's grateful for what you do. No one's appreciating what you do, and at least enough to the extent at which you deserve for everything that you're doing, okay? Especially because their present position, the heart of the matter, the Nine of Wands, like I said, is being weary. I'm tired. But I'm determined. But I'm tired. Okay? Things like that. In the near future, they're warning with the Emperor reversed that you're coming upon a time of a feeling of a lack of authority, because the Emperor, usually upright, is the card of fatherhood, of masculine energy. It's the card of power and authority and control over our kingdom, so to speak. And our kingdom is a metaphor for, ourselves, for our path, our power, our control, things like that, okay? Reversed, it's something's kind of out of whack here. Something is... so in the near future, pile 2, if you're looking for any advice to resolve this situation, it would be to assert more authority, assert more power where you can. They're saying there's some area of your life in this situation where you could assert more control and authority and you're not. And that will make this a lot smoother. However, there is also a silver lining in the outcome here. You're technically on the way to a good outcome. We have the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords as an outcome is all about finally being able to take action based on knowledge, ideas, logic, and thought. Okay? Complete opposite of where we were with the King of Swords reversed over here. Also, I forgot to mention pile 2. A King of Swords reversed can mean, too, that there was possibly someone in the situation involved, likely masculine energy, not always, but that was sharp of tongue, was almost maybe abusive of tongue, okay? Maybe said nasty things to you that were cutting, okay? Maybe that's part of why you felt so betrayed and so weary, okay? Because that's what a King of Swords can represent as a person, is a masculine energy, most of the time, who is not very nice of tongue. They say things that are sharp, okay? Sometimes they say things that are cold, ruthless, things like that, okay? But you're in the way opposite position here as the outcome. Taking action, and also if there's anything in your life recently where you've been wanting to happen really fast, especially if it's related to the situation I'm describing, pile 2, this is a really good sign having the Knight of Swords, because out of all of the Knights, the Knight of Swords represents the quickest action, things happening the fastest, okay? Especially in areas where we're trying to take steps based on knowledge and logic and ideas. Okay. So let's see what else the universe wants to say to you, pile 2. I'm wondering if more will be expanded upon, or maybe there'll be some other kind of miniature messages. Universe, what else do you want to say to pile 2 today? Thank you. We have the crocus. Cheerfulness. It is spring again. How fitting for the time that this reading is going up. It is spring again. The earth is like a child that knows poems by heart by Rainer Maria Rilke. Okay. It is spring again. The earth is like a child that knows poems by heart. And correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments below, pile 2, but I think crocus is one of the first flowers that blooms after the frost, after spring arrives and winter has gone. Okay, so that also is a really good sign that I think, especially if you've been going through a very metaphorically wintry time of life, kind of stark, feels like things aren't going so well, it's been a struggle, right? This is a sign that something better is coming along soon, okay? It's like the crocus or the first flowers blooming after the winter and the spring. Like I said, how fitting for the time of year this reading is going up, right? Something to be cheerful about, something to be happy about. And actually, I'm going to draw some extra tarot cards on that pile too, because I want to know more about what that is, just to give you a bit of a heads up. Universe with tarot, please, could you explain more about what is the blooming after the frost that you see in their life? Especially, too, in this particular deck pile, too, because you got so many swords cards, and all the swords cards in this deck are winter. They're a winter scene. You see that? Winter, winter, winter. How fitting that you get that crocus card then. Like you've been stuck in winter and now you're moving forward. Okay. What's the happiness, cheerfulness coming? We have another winter scene. We have the Chariot reversed. Okay. That looks like Denali National Park. Beautiful huskies. Okay. With dog sledding. We have that card. And then I'm going to draw just one more. King of Wands reversed. Okay. So in a blessings part of a reading, because I asked what happiness is coming, I read reversals as what's going to be corrected. Okay. So a Chariot reversed as a part of a mini blessing reading usually means that you're going to be getting a blessing of more control over something, more speed over something, okay? More ability to hold on to the reins of life, especially if it's felt very chaotic lately, pile 2. Okay, because a chariot is almost like dog sledding, right? You're kind of going along to the whims of the universe, but a charioteer is someone who holds on to the reins and is able to kind of guide that direction, okay? So more direction is part of the blessing, okay, as well. Then the King of Wands is a part of a blessing reading reversed, at least, is you're going to be gaining more confidence and more power and enthusiasm. I don't know if maybe even especially you've been kind of depressed lately because of everything been going on, which is very understandable, pile 2. And if so, that means I do see it kind of, I mean, you even see like the rays of light shining here through the swamp that he's walking through. I think he's been walking through a swamp. It's been kind of cloudy, and now the rays are finally shining. They're breaking through. Okay, same thing through with even the metaphor of like the dog sledding. It's like something's breaking through the ice. Something's breaking through the snow. Through the frost of your life, okay? And it's like a spring renewing. Things becoming greater again. Something to be grateful for. And, too, I'm hearing something about a message of I would almost say karma for that which you put in so much effort in before that maybe you didn't get to reap the fruits of your labor, but other people did. You're going to get some sort of gift, some fruit based on that labor, even if it didn't immediately come out at the time it was you thought it would, or like it was supposed to, quote unquote. Of course, you know, when we say supposed to, we need to remind ourselves of divine timing, right, pile 2, but things like that. So, you know, especially if you've been feeling like things have been chaotic, there's been a lack of control, you feel like it's hard to break through things, you feel like you've been lacking confidence, that's the blessing that's going to come through. You're going to have a cheerfulness and a happiness in those areas, okay? Let's also grab your last oracle card for today, pile 2. Very beautiful. Love this deck. This card is, look at that, we've got a dandelion, also very fitting for this time of year. I say, as whenever I look out my window, I think, oh, the dandelions have come back, I need to mow. We have number 1, make a wish. Make a wish. So pile 2, if there was anything in this situation that you wish would change, what would it be? Even if you were, say, outside. Say you went in my front yard where there's a gazillion dandelions that I really should mow and I haven't yet. And you were to take one of those dandelions and you were to blow on it and whisk the seeds to the wind. What would you wish for in this situation? Okay. And the universe is saying to focus on that. Focus on it. What do you wish for? Because it might come to you in ways that you don't expect. Let's draw another tarot card on that, though, too, just to get some more clarity. Universe, same thing. One more card and make a wish. We have the Tower reversed. How beautiful. And you know what the Tower reversed means, pile 2? It means avoiding disaster. Avoiding a disaster. Whatever you think the worst outcome is in this situation, you're going to avoid it. That's part of the wish and the blessing as well. Okay. Very beautiful, pile 2. Beautiful reading all around. I'm going to see if I didn't miss anything. Make sure that there aren't any more questions I want to ask for you. It's a pretty straightforward reading pile, too. Basically, what it's saying, just to summarize so far, is there's been kind of a hazy situation that you came from, a situation that really took everything out of you that you're still healing from, and even just the healing itself has been kind of, it makes you weary, right? But at the same time, there are blessings coming, okay? Especially in terms of karma for the things that you didn't get before that you were supposed to get, especially regarding the fruits of your labor. There are things that you'll be grateful for that, are almost like a flower blooming out of the snow in terms of gaining more control over the chaos and more direction, things like that, more confidence, more passion and verve for life. Same thing, too, with Make-A-Wish. You're avoiding the worst case outcome, okay? You're avoiding a disaster of some sort. So whatever you think is like the worst absolute thing that could happen, you're going to avoid that pile too. I see good tidings for you in this reading all across the board, all right? And, one last message I'm hearing from Spirit pile too is they're saying the value of what you do or who you are does not matter on the words of appreciation of others. However, caveat, okay, asterisk, wait a second. Yes, people should appreciate you for what you do, but just because they didn't appreciate it didn't mean that it was low value. Or doesn't mean that it is low value. Doesn't mean that you're low value, okay? Sometimes people don't appreciate what they have. Sometimes people don't see and value what they have. They don't have gratitude, okay? Sometimes people are just really ungrateful. But just because they're ungrateful doesn't mean that you or what you do inherently lacks value. Okay, pile 2? So also think to yourself, what do I value in this situation that I fled from or is I'm healing from? What am I proud of myself for in what happened? That's another really good question to ask yourself. What am I proud of? Maybe you're proud of your determination. Maybe you're proud of the way that you picked up after what seemed like the end. Maybe you're proud of getting through a depressive funk, which is also something to be lauded, right? Depression is not easy, pile 2, especially, for those of you that resonates with. Not easy. Pat yourself on the back even for just taking tiny steps. Because even tiny steps sometimes are the hardest. Okay? So really, if I were to summarize this reading in one sentence for you from the universe pile 2, is the universe is patting you on the back. And it's saying times are getting better. Okay? Your efforts that other people might not have appreciated didn't go unnoticed. Universe noticed. Just because people don't notice, the universe always does. Okay? And that quick, swift action is coming. Especially if you're looking for something to happen fast with this situation, that Knight of Swords is a really good outcome, okay? Beautiful reading, pile 2. So that was your message from the universe today. I hope it was helpful. I hope you liked it. I hope that it resonated, of course. And if so, please like the video itself. Please comment down below. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet, as that helps me out just a little bit with just one button click, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition on the channel, I wish you a wonderful, very healing, full of wishes granted rest of your day, pile 2. And I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 3. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about what the universe wants you to know right now. And of course, as you can recall, you were drawn to the very beautiful starry looking being, or I almost kind of see it as a starseed being with, drumroll please, let's reveal the text below. We have number 30, voice. You are here to be known. So speak and be seen. Very fitting for a being that is playing music. You are here to be known. So speak and be seen. Set her over here to the left. And to begin our reading outside of the pile leader today, let's start with both one of the oracle decks and a tarot spread, pile 3. Okay, so universe, what is it that you want them to know? What do they need to know? I'll do another shuffle on that because that was not the best shuffle in the world. Are we ready? Uh-oh. I did it again. Okay, that's okay. Seems shuffled enough to me. Okay. Alright, so my shuffling skills aside, there is your card. And let's grab your tarot deck. Beautiful. I did that one a lot better. Excuse me. Okay, and there are your 5 cards. Let's unveil everything together, pile 3. So for your first card from the Dream Ritual Oracle, Heal. Beautiful card to get right off the bat. Maybe there's a healing message of some sort. Let's look at your tarot cards to glean more details. So the first tarot card today is the 6 of Cups reversed. Okay, looks like manatee is very cute. A lot of watery imagery. I don't know if you're a water sign, perhaps, pile 3, although voice makes me think, too, of air signs. We'll see what else pops out. We have the Knight of Pentacles reversed, with once again, even though kind of an earthy scene being in a cave, there is a pool of water. 6 of Cups reversed, 9 of Pentacles reversed. Then we have the Emperor reversed with Yosemite National Park, which pile 2 also received. Okay. Bit of a picture forming here. Then we have another reversal. We have the Knight of Cups reversed. A lot of people sailing, kayaking, boating. And last but not least, will it be another reversal? Drum roll, please. Yes, but it's a good reversal. We have the 5 of Cups reversed. Beautiful outcome, pile 3. And I want to tell you right away that means at least, even though we have so many reversals, don't run away from the reading. Doesn't always mean a negative thing, because especially like with the 5 of Cups reversed, it means overcoming a loss or a sorrow. Recovering from a loss. Healing from sorrow. Speaking of healing. Okay, so let's look over your cards to gain a clearer picture here, pile 3. What's going on? The universe wants to talk to you about lots of water. I'll tell you that. Like I said, I don't know if perhaps you are a water sign. Because even in the 5 of Cups, which, I mean, that is a Cups card too. Very blue imagery, despite it being, you know, a snake and a bird. And then, yeah, 3 cups. Okay, a lot of emotional things. A little bit about tangible things, too, with the pentacles. Okay. So, for sure, pile 3, part of this is the universe saying there's something from the past they want to help you heal from. Okay, because the 6 of Cups reversed tends to represent nostalgia, but being reversed, it's in the nature of negative things from the past, okay? Bad memories, bad experiences that still latch onto and cast shadows on our spirit, right? And especially because you have Heal as your Dream Ritual Oracle card, it's like they want you to heal and soothe whatever this bad thing from the past was. I almost want to say, because of your pile leader, it's possible that the wound was related to someone didn't listen to you, or you felt not listened to very often in a particular situation, okay? You felt like no one heeded your warning, or it's also possible that it's like you were just dismissed all the time. Very kind of just like, oh, your voice was just silent. Like, whenever you'd open your mouth, it was like someone would metaphorically stick a plug in it. Like, they just didn't want to hear you. Same thing, too, with the Knight of Pentacles reversed as the recent past card, okay? That speaks of an inability to take action based on things regarding career or finances, or though sometimes it can mean unable to take reliable actions or unable to be reliable in some way. So it could also be a pain regarding someone that was unreliable, okay, that too. Not just maybe they didn't listen, they had closed ears, but they also were unreliable, they were not stable, things like that. And you might not have even realized that they were the issue at first, but it's like perhaps over time, like more and more you realized, okay, this person is what caused this problem. Okay, it could even go all a bit back to childhood, because that's another meaning with the 6 of Cups pile 3 is childhood memories. Okay, it's a lot about our deep past. All right. Now, the heart of the matter is the Emperor reversed, which is lack of authority, lack of control. It's masculine energy in the negative, or a lack of masculine energy, okay? Which deals a lot with our actions, with our ability to control and have authority, things like that. Power in terms of taking action. So I wonder if it's affecting you to the point where this bad wound from the past is like, you feel powerless against it. Like, you feel like it always has control over your life more than you have control over it yourself. And that's what the universe wants to help you heal today. Now, they're saying the key to overcoming the sorrow, and you will, you're on the path there, because I always say, pile 3, tarot readings are a snapshot of a timeline. It doesn't mean that it's always 100% guaranteed to pass what is foretold here, but based on the path you're on right now, this is the most likely outcome. And the good thing is you have the 5 of Cups as the outcome reversed. Keyword reversed, which, like I said before, means overcoming a loss or a sorrow. But you have one card between. And that's an advice card, especially with it being reversed and being the near future, an advice position card. You have the Knight of Cups. And what that means in reverse, pile 3, is needing to take action based on our emotions or our heart. Okay? So when you are reflecting on this wound, when you are trying to overcome the power that it has upon you, really focus on what your heart feels, as much as it might be painful. I almost wonder if maybe you have a tendency towards kind of stuffing the emotions down, which, not to wag fingers at you, pile 3, because everybody has done that at one point. Sometimes we need to stuff emotions down just to survive, just to get through the day. Like, I can't think about that. That's inconvenient. I need to work, or I need to do this, or I need to get the kids to school, or I need to blah, 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 blah. Insert your daily activities here, okay? Sometimes it is healthy to put them away a little bit. But at the same time, sometimes we lock our heart so deep down and under so many different chains that we never listen to the wisdom that it has either. We just think, oh, that's a pesky thing. I don't need to listen to that. It just gets in the way of my life, okay? But if you were to listen to it and listen to what it's telling you, that will help you find your way, okay? That will make the current smooth. That will help you overcome the sorrow, okay? Same thing, too, with voice. You are here to be known, so speak and be seen. That's also a call to your heart and saying, okay, heart, you're saying something. I'm not going to stuff a sock in your mouth. Let's hear you out. What are you telling me? Okay? And that will almost never guide you wrong, pile 3, especially in terms of areas of our life where we're trying to heal from things, okay? The metaphor they're showing me is almost like, how are you supposed to heal your heart if you don't listen to it enough to know where it's wounded or how it's wounded? Okay, you might not even really recognize what the wound is. You just might know what the symptom is. Like, oh, I'm always anxious. Or, oh man, I always feel really kind of like triggered or sad when I come across this kind of situation. Or, insert whatever the issue is here, pile 3, whatever the symptom is, okay? But to diagnose it, you have to listen to your heart and say, okay, heart, why are you hurting? Okay. Sometimes people go to therapy for that, of course, but I always want to be cognizant of, number one, the economy. Okay. Therapy sometimes is not cheap, especially depending on insurance, right? Sometimes it's not available. I mean, I've had, personally, I've heard, and in my own experience, sometimes it's really hard to get a therapist because a lot of them are really booked up. A lot of people really need therapy, which is, it's good that a lot of people are going to therapy, but at the same time, that means sometimes it's limited because there's only so many therapists that can only help so many people at once, okay? So I want to be cognizant of that. However, if that is available to you, it might help you to go to therapy for this particular issue, to find out and have someone help you along the way, to listen to your heart in ways that, they'll hear it from a more objective point of view and can tell you what you're maybe personally blocking out, right? However, if that is not available to you, like I said, there's other ways you can listen to your heart, okay? When you feel triggered, when you feel anxious, when you feel sad, whatever the symptom is, really analyze it. Even write it down. Say to yourself, this bothered me, even if I don't know why. Or this happened, even if I don't know why. What was I doing at the time that happened, okay? things like that. Or, if you have a trusted family member or a friend, okay, go to them and say, hey, I've been having this issue. What do you think? Okay. Because sometimes the universe will manifest answers to us through the voices of others if we're willing to listen. Sometimes we and others are used as divine tools of the universe to say its answers in the way that the cosmos cannot. Okay? The universe doesn't have vocal cords, we do. So sometimes it speaks to us through others, okay? So there's a lot about listening to others too, especially with your pile leader of speak and be seen, right? Voice, listen to voice. What are other voices telling you, pile 3, in this situation? What is your own voice telling you? What are other voices telling you? It's almost like being in a chamber of a lot of different voices and blocking them all completely out because it's really hard to listen. But at the same time, if we were to listen, that's exactly what would make us heal. Okay, let's grab your other cards today for your message, pile 3. We'll see if it expands on the same message. But yes, you're well on your way to overcoming the sorrow, okay? It is possible to overcome it. You are on your way to overcoming it. So you know what? That's another thing about today's message, pile 3. The universe is saying, good job. You're well on your way there. You're already doing the right things. You just maybe need a little bit more of listening to the heart. Taking action based on your heart. Okay, for sure this one said pick me because it just stabbed me in the hand. We have Coreopsis or tick seed, very beautiful flower. Kind of looks like brown-eyed Susan, not quite. Always joyful. Write it on your heart. Hey, speaking of hearts, write it on your heart that every day is the best day of the year. That is Ralph Waldo Emerson, very great poet. Coreopsis, always joyful. And we're going to actually draw a few extra tarot cards on that one just to see more about the meaning. Can you give me a few more cards on that, universe? Thank you for pile 3. Also to pile 3, I don't know how many of you are interested in the idea of starseeds and things like that, but if you are and you are familiar with that terminology, I feel maybe you are one, which is why you were probably drawn to your pile leader. And if so, part of this healing and this lesson might be related to your mission here on Earth. That might be something you want to explore too. Let's see, we have, pile 2 had this too. We have the Tower reversed, avoiding a disaster. Beautiful. And then we've got the 8 of Pentacles. Hard work, needing to put more hard work into something, tending a garden. Okay, so always joyful. Write it on your heart that every day is the best day of the year. So, pile 3. I'm going to tune in for a second, one moment. I don't know why, but they're saying something about red apples. And I know that is really random. Maybe some of you will resonate with that particular imagery. But of course, when I think of red apples, I always think of, the harvest, right? We harvest things after we put in labor, kind of like the gardening here in the 8 of Pentacles. We also associate apples with knowledge, like hence the apples in the tree of knowledge from the Garden of Eden. Okay, speaking of gardens, right? I almost wonder if what would solve this is a piece of knowledge that you don't have about your past, that maybe someone in your family does know, that would help you recontextualize what happened. So for those of you where this might be family related, I would ask more if that is available to you. I know sometimes our relationships with families can be kind of rocky depending on your situation, but I would see if there's anyone in your family that can give you an outside perspective on your past, if it's family related, okay? And you trust them, of course. Trustworthy family member. Especially, too, because we think of the tree of knowledge as, literally the book in the Bible is called Genesis, right? Like genes passed down, genetics, family. And trees represent family, too. So for a lot of you, I'm seeing family-related things, okay? That might help if you were to talk to family, especially if it's something far in the past. And then we also have, like I said, the Tower reversed is avoiding a disaster. 8 of Pentacles reversed can mean needing to put more effort into something, or expending too much effort into something. I want to say if you're trying to avoid a worst-case scenario, if you're trying to avoid a disaster, What I'm hearing from this particular Eight of Pentacles next to it is that, well, okay, the Tower reverse means you are going to avoid the disaster. Okay, you are going to avoid worst case scenario. But also, it's with the context of the Eight of Pentacles reverse saying something about you. I think you're almost putting too much effort in worrying about disasters. Maybe a lot of you are suffering from anxiety-related issues. I'm getting like anxiety vibes off of this. Like you put too much mental effort into avoiding disasters that were never going to occur anyways. Like, even if you don't necessarily see the signs for a disaster, it's like you catastrophize and you're like, oh God, this bad thing's gonna happen. And then it's like you put all this mental stress on yourself, pile 3, that you don't need to. I mean, that might resonate for some of you it might not. But in general, because I pulled this as a explanation of the Always Joyful with the Tick-Seed Coreopsis card, if you're worried about something bad happening, you're going to avoid the disaster. Okay? And you don't have to worry about putting as much effort into it as you thought you did to avoid the disaster. Like, it's already something kind of decided that you're going to avoid. Okay, so that should bring some relief to some of you if you've been worrying about something especially a lot recently. Okay, Tower reversed is always a really great card to get, especially next to a card that says something about joy, okay? Usually means good tidings and blessings and avoiding things that are bad. Okay, let's grab your Nature's Whispers. We have beautiful Catch Your Breath. Speaking of anxiety, we have, okay, so number 15, Catch Your Breath. Yeah, so once again, that's just reiterating, I think maybe some of the issue that's been popping up for you guys has been anxiety issues, which, hello, been there myself. 100% understand that, pile 3. I mean, I used to, not to talk too much about myself, because this is about you, not me, but I used to get anxiety so bad when I was a kid, I would literally, especially about going to school, because I was a very shy person, I would literally get nauseous. I was that anxious. I get nausea from it. So I 100% get that, pile 3, if that is your case. Funny that I used to be that shy and now I'm on YouTube, right? But hey, life lessons, right? So Catch Your Breath is all about needing to take a pause, needing to take a break. Especially too, it's very interesting because we have voice as your pile leader, which means to, project sound on air. And then Catch Your Breath is to take in air. Okay. If some of you did have issues where people didn't listen to you, pile 3, remember I mentioned that at the beginning with the pile leader, I would almost say this is an advice card to not worry about the outcome for themselves. If you give them sage advice and they don't listen to it and they come to their own end, or not end, I should say, that's really dark. Oh, holy crap. I didn't mean it that way, but like to their own losses and sorrows, because, it's almost like, I mention her often, the legend of Cassandra from Greek mythology, right? She was blessed to see the future, but cursed that no one would ever believe her. But it wasn't necessarily her fault that they didn't listen, right? They could have listened, right? So when you warn people of things, when you try to voice your opinion, if you know they're not going to value it, and I mean that in terms of, maybe they're stubborn and they just don't want to listen, right? It's not your job to save them from what you're trying to help them avoid. That responsibility lies in their hands, okay? But in general, too, Catch Your Breath means pause. So take time for self-care, especially during this time of healing, okay? Especially, too, if you are suffering from anxiety-related issues, I always recommend, like I said, as someone that has had really bad anxiety in my life, breathing exercises, beautiful. I tend to like the method, and I can't remember what it's called. Correct me in the comments below if you know what it's called. The 5-7-5 method, where you take in a breath for 5 seconds, you hold for 7, then you let out for 5. Okay, so breathe in 5, hold 7, breathe out 5. Okay, and that can help reset our brains a little bit. That can help us deal with anxiety, right? And sadness too in general. But also it's a sign to pile 3 that whatever has been making you anxious, whatever maybe is making you feel breathless in terms of fear, that you're coming to a time where you can take a rest, okay? Literally, she's resting. This almost kind of looks like a fae being, I would say, against this tree. taking a breath and she's just looking around. What does she notice in the moment? That's another really great method. And especially if you ever do meditation or if you're interested in meditation, I'll say this. As someone has had anxiety, meditation is one of the best heals for it. Also, I like yoga too, but I won't preach too much about that. In terms of not only breathing exercise, but at the same time, noticing what's there in the moment, okay? Whenever you're experiencing fear, whenever you're experiencing anxiety, look around you, pile 3. What do you notice in the moment? Don't think about what you're afraid of. Don't think about what's bothering you. What do you notice? Do you notice maybe the gleam of light on the quartz I have up here? Maybe you notice the teal background of the cloth, okay? Or wherever your situation is, maybe you notice the blue sky. Maybe you notice that a cloud looks particularly like, I don't know, a bear or something like that. I mean, it sounds silly, but this is examples. Maybe you notice that it's humid or it's cool. Maybe you notice that your arm is itchy. Whatever it is, focus on the present moment. Catch your breath. And that will also help you heal, in the moment at least, in dealing with certain things. Okay? So, yeah, I mean, basically, your reading today, pile 3, is a lot about, listening to your heart. It's a lot about giving yourself time for pause and breath and healing. It's about, don't worry about the worst case scenario, because you're going to avoid it. Whatever you're really most worried about right now, you got that tower reversed, remember, okay? Same thing, too, about it's not your responsibility to keep people from making bad decisions, especially if you were given your advice. You've done everything that you can, okay? Also, you're well on your way to healing and overcoming loss and sorrow. So it really is kind of multifaceted message today, but it is a lot of messages about good tidings and blessings coming to you. So I always really love being able to give readings like that. Sometimes I have tough love messages. Pile 1 today was kind of a tough love message. You're more of a message of, here is rain after a drought. Here's the universe saying, here's your blessings after your time of loss and sorrow and struggle, okay? Just remember to follow your heart, pile 3. Listen to it and listen to the voices of others that you trust. And that will also help you on your healing journey, okay? That will help you gain more control over the situation, over what's been bothering you. That will help you overcome sadness. Okay. Also look into Starseed stuff if you have not already. That might resonate with you, as I said, with your pile leader, especially if you were drawn to this being, right? Looks very Starseed. Screams Starseed to me, at least. Very beautiful. And, sometimes they say, for those of you not familiar with Starseed concepts, I mean, a lot of what might bother you about existing in this world is because your soul is kind of not adjusted to being on Earth. Not to get into too many woo-woo concepts, but I say that affectionately. I like these concepts myself, but a lot of times starseeds kind of feel like it's kind of like low vibration here compared to where they were before. It kind of feels like they're oftentimes it's described as like a square peg in a round hole, okay? And so maybe a lot of your journey on Earth in this particular life is about a lot of these struggles might be because of that. So a lot of your journey is about overcoming those struggles because that is part of your lesson here on Earth, okay? And if so, and if that resonates with you, pile 3, that also means you're a stronger soul for it, okay? Not easy being here on Earth, right? We all know that. Not easy. It takes brave warriors to come to Earth, as we all know. And so even just existing here is a feat of courage of the soul, okay? So remember that every day. And that's what I'll leave you with today, my wonderful pile 3. So I hope you liked the message. I hope it was healing and helpful. I hope it resonated. And if so, please like the video itself. Please comment down below. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. As I always say, it's just a tiny little button click away for you, which helps me immeasurably with providing more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition on the channel, I wish you a wonderful, healing, full of blessings rest of your day. And I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 3.